This is what the graphing system for Desmos looks like. It's a web page. It's best if you go ahead and create an account because you have a little bit more flexibility. They will not abuse you. And if they do send you emails, you can just unsubscribe and you won't ever hear from them again. But you can continue to use their free graphing utility. I'm going to go ahead and sign in because I do have an account and it's linked to my Google account, which is kind of cool. So if you have a Google account, it makes it real easy to sign in using your Google account. I actually have a couple of Google accounts. Okay, so here's me. You can edit your account and do all kinds of other stuff. You can print. There's a print button here, makes it easier to print. You can share your graph with the world by sharing it with a link. You can email the graph, you can embed the graph, or you can do something with an image, and I'll show you those things as we progress here on this video. This is the help button, and this is, you can set the language. Here are some tools for the graph settings. You can change it to polar graph mode and you get this nice polar grid. You can change the parameters on the x-axis and you can tell it, what the increments are for the hash marks on the x-axis. You can change the way the axis looks. You can do the same thing for the y-axis. You can make it not be there. Notice I just took the y-axis off. Or you can leave it on there and then change its parameters as well. You can go, you can use radians or degrees depending on what you need. So there's various things, and then there's projector mode, which I suppose is good in the classroom. There's also a zoom feature. You can use this, or I just use my mouse pad or your zoom wheel on your mouse or some kind of way you can just easily zoom in or out. So I'm zooming in there. You can also click and hold and drag the quadrants to any location you want. So there's that. This is the click for the keypad. So if you want to show the keypad has all the features. There's your variables, X and Y. You can just use the keyboard X and Y and all your various keyboard functions. And here are some other functions like the trig functions. There they all are. Calc is these kinds of functions. I guess that means for calculus, exponential and log functions. And look, there's a series and a product and factorial and E. It's kind of cool. And then miscellaneous, there's all these cool things. You can pretend that you know what that means. All right, so that's the keyboard. I want to show you some features here. There are some graphs, and these are some of the graphs that I did in other classes, but these are demonstration graphs. I'll just show you one of them to get you excited. I'll show you a parabola in standard, let's go standard form. There's a parabola in standard form with a tangent line. So we'll open that graph. And you have these sliders. You can animate the sliders all at once or just one at a time. So let's animate for A. A is the coefficient of the x squared term. And you see what happens as A increases to 10. And then as A decreases to -10. It's kind of cool. B is the coefficient of the degree 1 term, and you can see how changing B affects your graph. And C is the constant, and so you can see how manipulating that value of C changes the graph. You can also type a number in, so suppose you know that C is equal to 5. You can just type in C equals 5. So you might want to play with that. These are some various things that you can use. You can edit and hide lists. You can add an item. You can open another graph. Here's one more I want to show you. It's it's a conic section parabola with its focus. And so you can see how changing the value of P in the polar form of a parabola moves the focus and the directrix. And there you go. So those are kind of cool. So let's get rid of that and that and that. You can also just type in a function that you want to do. So suppose you just want to graph x squared. You can just enter x uppercase squared. And there it is. You can also write y equals x squared. and it looks like that. You could also write f of x equals x squared, and the graphs are all the same, of course. So there's Desmos, a real quick introduction to it, and just, you know, start using it and having fun with it.